So good evening, friends. I am so glad you're here tonight, joining us in this peaceful space. Trick, thank you. Let this time be, for you, a chance to let go of the day and ease into rest. You've done all you can today, and now it is time to simply be. I'll be here with you for the next 20 minutes or so to help you ease into sleep. I am about to take my eyes off of the chat. And as suggested, you too. Simply sit back, relax, and allow your eyes to feel heavy. Thank you, Trick. So before we begin our bedtime story, we're going to take a few minutes to help our bodies and our minds to slow down. I invite you to get comfortable in whatever position feels most supportive to you. You might be lying down or maybe sitting somewhere cozy, letting your body begin to soften into relaxation. And let's begin with a calming breath. All right, Georgian, we deserve to slow down. So what do you say we use the box breath to bring a little more stillness into our bodies and minds? We're going to breathe in slowly through our nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And pause for 4 before we begin again. I'll guide you through the first few rounds. Nana, welcome in. Welcome. It's good to see you. Good evening, friends. We are just about to begin a box breath. Good evening, Kevin. Good evening, everyone. So let's begin with the calming breath. We'll use the box breath to bring a little more stillness into our bodies and minds. Again, we're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold, exhale, and then pause. Now, if you don't, you can simply follow along or observe the pattern of your own natural breath. But if you're ready, let's begin. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and pause, 2, 3. Again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and pause, 2, 3. Once more, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and pause. 2, 3, 4. Well done. That's it. Now continue at your own pace. And as you breathe, imagine each inhale filling you with calm energy and each exhale releasing any tension or worries from your day. Your breath is your anchor, always there to bring you back to this moment. And now, let's bring our attention to the rest of the body. Starting with the toes, we'll gently scan through the whole body. Starting with the toes, we'll gently scan through the whole body, inviting each part, whether we're raccoons or humans, to relax. So focus on your toes. Feel them softening, letting go. Now notice your feet and ankles. Imagine them becoming heavy, sinking into the surface beneath you. Next, move up to your calves and knees. Let them relax completely. You don't need to hold anything here. Just let them rest. Thank you, Glitter. And now, bring your awareness to your thighs and hips. Feel your hips releasing into the surface below you and let them be fully supportive. Welcome in, Lily. And now, focus on your belly. Let it soften with each breath and feel your chest gently rising and falling. Move up to your shoulders. We tend to carry so much here. Let them drop and let go of any tension. Maddie, welcome in. And finally, bring your attention to your face. Relax your jaw, your eyes, your forehead. Let every part of your face soften. Thank you, Maddie. And now that your whole body is relaxed, your breath is calm. Well, you are ready for tonight's bedtime story. Good evening, Dan. Slims, thank you for the shares. In the quiet heart of a dense forest, there lay a small village, nestled between towering trees and clear, winding rivers. This village, though peaceful and simple, was known far and wide as the Circle of Trust. For it was a place where everyone understood the importance of boundaries, balance, and mutual respect. Every villager in the Circle of Trust had their own role, their own space. The weavers spun their threads in cottages along the riverbank, while the farmers cultivated their crops in open fields just beyond the forest's edge. The healers gathered herbs from secret groves, and the storytellers, like myself, kept the memories of the village alive in the warm glow of the central fire. Good evening, Velveeta. Hey, Faith. Slims, thank you for the shares and the likes. So at the center of the village was a great tree, its roots weaving beneath the earth, connecting everyone to each other in ways they couldn't always see. The villagers knew that while they each had their own responsibilities, they were also part of something larger. They understood that respecting one another's boundaries didn't mean being separate. It meant making room for the whole community to thrive. And so one day, a young fox named Leora moved to the village. She had traveled far and was named Leora moved to the village. She had traveled far and wide and now sought a place where she could settle and contribute. Good evening, Elizabeth. Leora was bright and eager, but she was not yet familiar with the customs of the Circle of Trust. So when Leora arrived, the villagers welcomed her with open arms, offering her a space near the edge of the forest. There she could build a home and begin planting a garden. Leora quickly set to work digging up soil, planting seeds, and creating a cozy den for herself. She was excited to be part of the village and wanted to contribute as much as she could. But in her enthusiasm, Leora sometimes wandered beyond her own garden patch. She found herself picking herbs from the healer's grove, borrowing tools from the farmer's sheds without asking, and even trying to help the weavers with their delicate work, though she didn't know how to spin. And the villagers noticed Leora's reactions, and while they appreciated her desire to help, they also felt a little uneasy. Each person's space was important to them, and though they were happy to share, they wanted to be asked first. So they turned to the village elder, a wise owl named Eldrick, who had seen many generations of villagers come and go. Good evening, Noemi. And so one evening, under the shade of the great tree, Elric invited Leora to sit with him. Leora, Elric said in his soft, deep voice, we are so happy to have you in our village. Your energy and enthusiasm are gifts, but I have noticed that you have been wandering into spaces that are not yours. Leora's ears drooped and she lowered her head. I didn't mean to cause any harm, she said. I just wanted to help. And Elric nodded. I know. And your heart is in the right place, but here in the Circle of Trust, we value boundaries. Not to keep us apart, but to honor the space we all need to grow and thrive. Every villager has their own patch of earth and their own work, and it's important to respect that. But, Leora said hesitantly, doesn't that mean we're all separated? How can we be a community if we all stay in our own spaces? And Elric smiled, his eyes gleaming in the twilight. Ah, that is the beauty of it, my dear. Respecting boundaries doesn't mean we're separate. It means we trust one another to do what's best for ourselves and the community. When we honor someone's space, we're saying, I see you. I trust you to do your work, just as you trust me to do mine. We are all connected like the roots of this great tree. We each have a role, but together we create something much bigger. And Leora thought about this for a moment, her eyes drifting to the roots of the great tree, which stretched out across the village, invisible beneath the earth, yet felt by everyone. So, Eldrick continued, if you need something from the healers, the farmers, or the weavers, you must ask first. They will share with you gladly, but they also need the space to do their work, just as you need space to tend your own garden. And Leora nodded slowly, understanding now. I see, I'll be more careful and I'll make sure to ask before stepping into someone else's space. And over the following weeks, Leora found her rhythm in the village. She tended her garden with care, and when she needed help or wanted to contribute, she always asked first. And true to Elric's words, the villagers were more than happy to share their tools, their herbs, and their knowledge. In time, Leora came to understand that the boundaries the villagers held weren't walls to keep others out. They were like the borders of a garden, designed to give each person space to grow. And within those boundaries, trust and respect bloomed, creating a stronger, more vibrant community. And so the villagers worked together in harmony, each person doing their part, but always mindful of the invisible threads that connected them. And under the watchful branches of the great tree, the circle of trust continued to flourish, a living example of how boundaries, when respected, can strengthen the bonds of community. And as we leave the village of the circle of trust, remember that respecting each other's boundaries allows us to live in harmony, to build trust, and to create something much bigger than ourselves. We are all part of a community connected like the roots of a tree. And when we honor one another, we make room for everyone to thrive. And that concludes tonight's bedtime story. We will be back again tomorrow, a little after 6 a.m. Eastern, to help you ease into the day surrounded by friends as we watch the sunrise together. But until then, be well, be kind, and to be back here again tomorrow. Thank you so much. We'll see you then. Good night, Amy. Good night, Monique. Good night, Jess. Good night, Trick. Good night, Chris. Good night, Barbie. Good night, Nana. Good night, Ellie. Good night, Elizabeth. Good night, Maddie. Good night, up top. Good night, Mother. Good night, Pixie. Good night, Bee. Sweet dreams, everybody. Glitter, Ryan, Sunshine, Bob, Els, Heroine, everybody who joined us this evening. Sweet dreams, my friends. We'll be back again in the morning. Fais de beaux rêves. Toute l'équipe retourne à la verre. We'll see you tomorrow.